Okay, so you're stuck in traffic every morning, coffee gone cold, scrolling your phone wondering, when will Boston catch up to the future? Here's the real talk. 2025 is Boston's reboot. You're about to ditch bumper-to-bumper slog for a hyperlocal ferry that shoots you places in 90 minutes, espresso bar included. You'll step off the T into this just cathedral-like transit hall, and then you can paddle out onto this boardwalk that has this just amazing 5-acre park, but also doubles as flood protection. So, if you're wondering, is Boston still evolving? Is there anything new worth paying attention to? Buckle up, because I found 20 major things, yes, 20 that are going to completely change the game this 2025. Stay tuned. Imagine waking up excited to hop on a sleek new ride, breezing past the old grind and landing in places that feel less like commutes and more like mini getaways. Think less wasted time and more time with family, friends, and the things that actually matter, whether that's sunrise kayak session, maybe an impromptu art stroll, or dinner reservations without that mad dash across town. Here's how we're going to roll. This isn't your basic top 20 list. We're diving into the real deal projects that are rewriting Boston's playbook. Some of these are monumental, shovel-on-the-ground builds that you've been hearing about in whispers in the Dunkin' line for years. And a few will flat out have you pause mid-scroll like, hold up, that's happening here? And of course, we kick things off with something that isn't just big, it's downright magical. You ever sit in 3-hour Fenway traffic and think, there's gotta be a better way to catch a show? In 2025, that nightmare ends. 2 blocks from Kenmore, you'll stroll past neon pop-ups straight into the MGM Music Hall, a 5,000-seat live music coliseum built for moments that stick. This place isn't a sleepy amphitheater. It's got a custom acoustic canopy crafted by the same geniuses behind Carnegie Hall. VIP lounges are just like amazing, a rooftop bar dripping with these skyline views, and a street-level plaza that is serving midnight lobster rolls and dumplings once the stage lights are on. So here's the thing. Rumor has it, Bruno Mars and The Weeknd are kicking things off this summer. So you better snag your wristband before your buddy does. And listen, if you want the insider scoop on tickets, transit hacks, or where to grab a lobster roll before the show, I've pinned all my best tips in the description below. But that's just the opening act. I'm telling you, next, we're going to be reaching new heights with an 805-foot unicorn tower that laughs at the Pru and rewrites Boston's skyline. Let's go. Ever look up at the Prudential Tower and think, that's cool, but where's the wow factor? In 2025, Boston's answer comes in the form of a unicorn tower, an 805-foot glass spire at Winthrop Square that it just kind of laughs at the old guard. Inside, you're going to find 700 luxury condos with floor-to-ceiling windows, private elevators that drop you off at your front door, and amenity floors straight out of a 5-star resort. We're talking saltwater plunge pools, a wood-fired pizza kitchen, and a co-working just library overlooking that amazing new skyline. Offices below are already pre-leased by hedge funds and tech startups that are kind of craving that flex of the skyline. So word is pre-sales went live before steel even topped the 20th floor, because who wouldn't want to sip their morning coffee 700 feet above the Charles? And if you're eyeing an address that screams Boston royalty, hit the link in the description for floor plans, pricing teasers, and move-in timelines. And if you thought Boston was only reaching new heights in the sky, well, just wait, because what you're gonna see next is gonna be on your dinner plate, because our next one coming up isn't about glass and steel. It's about forks, stars, and a global spotlight that's about to shine right on Boston's dining scene. Okay, forget everything you thought you knew about Boston's dining scene, because 2025's here and the world's most coveted culinary prize finally touches down in our fair city. That's right, the Michelin Guide is officially rolling into Boston. It's about to get its first ever Michelin stars. So you gotta picture this. Anonymous inspectors, kind of like in trench coats, slipping into the hidden ramen counters, the classic North End catterias, and even those new Seaport tasting room everybody's been kind of talking about. No one knows who'll score a store, but the buzz is everywhere. This is more than just a foodie headline. It's a game changer for the entire city. Suddenly, Boston chefs are going toe-to-toe with New York City, Chicago, and Paris. Neighborhoods like Cambridge and Somerville are bracing for lines out the door, and even your favorite hole in the wall could end up on a global map. So expect a tidal wave of foodies booking flights from Tokyo to Texas, all chasing that next level food, or, you know, maybe that crazy noodle bowl that got a star. And here's the real twist. Michelin's arrival doesn't just mean more hype for restaurants. It could flip the script on our local real estate scene too. Imagine living steps away from a newly starred spot or watching your neighborhood's buzz and home values skyrocket overnight. For Bostonians, this is bragging rights on a world stage. For everyone else, it's the ultimate reason to make a reservation and maybe a move. So if you thought Boston was just baked beans and Fenway Franks, buckle up. The city's about to serve up something unforgettable and you'll want a front row seat. But what if your morning coffee waited for you instead of you waiting for the train? So yeah, you slip onto the Green Line extension at Lechmere and surprise, there's room to actually breathe. This isn't the old stop and go, it's a sleek light rail gliding past Union Square, Washington Square, all the way up to College Ave. 10 brand new stops and end to end in just 15 minutes, 0 transfers. Imagine trading a frantic 25-minute slog for a calm ride where you actually enjoy that latte in hand. No more misconnections or packing in like sardines, just reliable service every 6 minutes during peak times. Heated platforms keep you cozy in the winter, onboard bike racks let you bring your wheels, and all these vibrant murals greet you at every station. But here's a real twist. What if your grandest entrance felt more like stepping into a cathedral than a subway terminal? That's what's up next. So you just got off the Green Line and into a hall that feels more like a concert venue than a subway terminal. You have vaulted glass ceilings and they're stretching overhead. There's all these marble-clad walls gleaming in the morning sunlight. And you have these open sight lines and you're just kind of guided effortlessly to every platform. Gone are the ticket barriers, dark corridors, and in their place, all these like digital wayfinding screens that point you toward Amtrak, intercity buses, and that Seaport skyline waiting just beyond all that glass facade. Underfoot, you have heated floors, banishing all the winter's chill, because let's be real, it's cold. While ground level cafes and bakeries kind of beckon with oat lattes and, sliders. Perfect for lingering before your train arrives. And at night, pendant lights cast a warm glow across all of those restored brick arches, turning rush hour chaos into this kind of mellow, almost cathedral-like experience. This $500 million transformation has been under construction since last fall, and with its soft opening slated for early next year, commuters who once dreaded the morning crush are already counting down the days. So imagine stepping off your train and onto this sunrise-lit boardwalk where your morning kayak awaits before you even buy a coffee. Boston's changing faster than ever with a revamped gateway, waterfront living, and Seaport's next big wave on the horizon. Whether you're eyeing a condo by South Station for that instant commute upgrade or thinking about selling to dive into Seaport luxury, my team and I make every move seamless. Reach out below and let's map out your smartest Boston move yet. Last year, this was just piles of steel. By 2025, it'll be Boston's ultimate hide-and-seek playground. We're talking about 1,200 luxury apartments and, oh my God, a boutique hotel with floor-to-ceiling harbor views and 2 floating piers where you can launch your kayak between Zoom calls. Yeah, picture this. You wake up, throw on your sneakers, and jog out onto a boardwalk that didn't exist when you went to sleep. Coffee steam swirling in the morning breeze as you pass a pop-up taco stand and all these artisan markets. Yeah, sounds hipster. Inside, designer lobbies gleam with sculptural lighting, private terraces, frame, and just these sunrise panoramas, and rooftop lounges that double as your weekend escape. Oh, and did I mention it all sits on a public waterfront promenade? It's going to reconnect Seaport to the city, transforming an almost industrial wasteland into Boston's most Instagrammable block. Pre-leasing sold out before the Skydeck was even poured. Honestly, ever dream of ending your run with a paddle? Your new commute just got way more zen. Welcome to Victory Park's next evolution, Phase 3. I'm telling you, this isn't just another tower, it's a vertical playground. Cranes are already pouring concrete on a 23-story glass and steel landmark, packing 500 luxury units. Ground floor tapas bars, and street-level boutiques. Every apartment comes with floor-to-ceiling windows, so your morning avocado toast feels like it's on top of the world. Below, a curated retail promenade lines the base. Think coffee shops, fitness studios, wine bars that you can stumble into after happy hour, Wait, nope, you watched that last video. You know we don't have happy hour. And yes, there's a rooftop pool and a lounge decked out with cabanas and day beds, so you can cocktail hour against a backdrop of the Charles and the rest of the Back Bay. Developed by Hines and backed by local investors, this isn't a cookie-cutter condo block. It's designed for people who want their lifestyle stacked like Legos, all in one walkable district. Pre-leases snapped up in days, because who wouldn't want a front row seat to like this upgraded urban living right here in Boston? All right, so next, let's just swap those sizzling sunsets for world-class art, because the Museum of Fine Arts is about to get a whole new wing, and it's something you've just gotta see. So Boston's art scene is getting a major upgrade. The Museum of Fine Arts is unveiling the Clore Center, adding 10,000 square feet of gallery space devoted entirely to immersive, interactive exhibits. Think motion-sensitive digital canvases that shift with your gaze, a dedicated wing for contemporary installations, and soundscapes that complement each other. You'll enter through this kind of sculptural glass atrium, so you're not getting like these weird bottlenecked entrances, and it's gonna go into a light-filled gallery lined with classics as well as all these new cutting-edge works. You're gonna have a new cafe overlooking Huntington Ave, serving locally roasted espresso and pastries. Perfect for, lingering after a Van Gogh or two. And for members, there's an exclusive rooftop terrace where you can sip a glass of wine while taking in the city skyline against a backdrop of modern sculptures. This isn't just an expansion, it's a redefinition of how Boston interacts with art. And yes, timed entry tickets are already selling fast, because who wouldn't want first dibs on living in this area and seeing a living, breathing gallery? But next, from hushed galleries to home runs, Boston's beloved ballpark is getting a fan-focused facelift you have to hear about. You breeze through Yawkey Way, and instead of the usual cramped concourse, you find yourself in Fenway 2.0, a kids zone perched above the dugout with cornhole lanes and cushioned benches, so little ones can, play while you catch a pitch. Behind right field, a terrace bar, and it's letting the adults sip local brews at high-top tables, cheering every hit against the skyline. Down below, an interactive mini-museum brings Sox legends to life. Ring a virtual Liberty Bell, relive Ted Williams' swing in AR, or stroll past touchscreen exhibits. Concession stands? Yeah, they've gone chef-driven. And you're gonna have lobster roll ciders, you're gonna have craft taps, and mobile ordering that cuts your snack line wait in half. This $120 million retrofit kicks off this spring, and next season, every inning feels less like a chore and more like a party. All right, so you pull up to Seaport, and instead of a glass office tower, you're greeted by a serene 200-bed medical tower built for kids. Now, this is special to me, complete with therapy gardens that spill onto the promenade and floor-to-ceiling windows that are, again, overlooking the harbor. Inside, colorful murals, they're just lining the hallways, while private healing pods let families video chat without leaving their children's side. There's a rooftop playdeck shaded by solar sails where little ones can burn energy before treatment, and integrated wayfinding kiosks that use gentle animations to guide visitors through every wing. Backed by a $600 million budget and designed by parent architects, this campus breaks ground next month, promising pediatric trauma care and research that rivals anyone in the world, all with a view you actually want to wake up to. And as a person that had childhood cancer, for me, these type of developments are so important for our city. Imagine walking out of treatment and onto a waterfront boardwalk, ready to swap hotel scrubs for, hey, a sunset kayak. Whether you're relocating for work, upgrading into a waterfront view, or selling your place to reinvest in these next-gen neighborhoods, my team and I handle every detail. Market timing, financing, and finding the perfect fit. Check the link below for your custom Boston opportunity guide. So, what does it look like to have a sleek tech showroom where it has white walls, softly humming consoles, and a team of surgeons wearing AR goggles that, they're overlaying precision graphics onto your eyeballs? This is the new AI-powered surgery wing at Mass Eye and Ear, where a $350 million upgrade turning tomorrow's medical tech into today's reality. reality. Here, advanced imaging rigs map your retina in milliseconds. They're feeding real-time data into AI algorithms that guide robotic arms through procedures with sub-millimeter accuracy. So we're talking about cataract removals that once took 40 minutes now wrap up in 15. And post-op recovery time has dropped by weeks. For families, private consultation pods stream live updates to waiting rooms via holographic displays. No more pacing the lobby. Sounds wild, right? I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I hate it, but man, it's kind of crazy what's going on. And this has been designed in partnership with MIT's Media Lab. This isn't just a facelift on medicine. It's a full reset on what state-of-the-art means. So why don't we think about stepping out of surgery and straight into a climate-controlled bike path? No traffic, no stress, just you and your healed vision. So imagine that there's a 12-story glass atrium buzzing with energy. I'm talking just, you can feel it. Dozens of startups elbowing for bench space under a living green roof, and public lecture halls humming with AI symposiums and the scent of fresh espresso drifting from the lobby cafe. This is Building 8, MIT's $400 million innovation hub, designed to house 300 life science and AI teams under one canopy. Here, lab benches sit shoulder to shoulder with co-working pods, so a pharma breakthrough can bump elbows with a robotics demo. Public symposium rooms where they're just open to these panoramic terraces where you can actually brainstorm all these next-gen solutions against a backdrop of the Charles. And when the workday ends, you can unwind in the kind of rooftop lounge where moss walls and trickling water features make you forget that you're like in the heart of Kendall Square. All right, I can imagine it. Flipping that commute into a 90-minute sea voyage instead of a highway crawl. Where once sat aging warehouses and parking lots, Harvard's new $1 billion science campus is in phase 2, and it's rising. A mixed-use block of biotech labs, sleek loft apartments, and public green spaces. Picture lab researchers crossing a pedestrian bridge into this like gorgeous riverside park. Family strolling past pop-up farmers, markets, and students grabbing falafel at the ground level. It's just amazing. You're gonna find these world-class research facilities side by side with rentable innovation studios. It's gonna all be wrapped up in just floor-to-ceiling glass. You're gonna have amenity terraces on every 5th floor offering courtyard views and a central plaza that hosts weekend, maker fairs. It's kind of like a living experiment in blending work, life, and play. Harvard's boldest urban project yet. And if you thought Harvard's campus was epic, wait until you book that ferry ticket from next door. What if your morning commute was a sea voyage instead of bumper to bumper? Yes, I'm talking about a high-speed ferry from Boston to New York. Want to go watch the Sox just beat up on the Yankees? Now you can get there in 90 minutes. So what's going to happen? You're going to step onto the Seaport dock at sunrise and trade Logan's security line for a sleek catamaran lounge floating on the harbor. You have these plush cafe chairs with all these windows, baristas pulling out espresso shots by the bar, and all these quiet decks beckoning your morning stretch as Boston skyline kind of disappears behind you. 90 minutes later, you're going to disembark at Brooklyn Bridge Park. You're touching down in New York faster than a crosstown cab could honestly get you from Eastie to the South End. Shuttle details are going to be where departures are every 2 hours with a standard lounge and VIP cabins. You're going to have a cafe, a bar, power outlets at every seat, and yes, free Wi-Fi. So where is it going to go? Well, it's going to go from Boston Seaport to East 34th Street Pier to Brooklyn Bridge Park to Hunters Point South. Now, let's talk the real numbers. It's going to be a 90-minute run. It's going to go 100 miles per hour, and each trip is going to have 300 passengers. Families skipping school for vacays, Wall Street analysts avoiding airport chaos, even weekend warriors trading harbor cruises for a Manhattan brunch. This isn't a novelty. It's a game changer. But have you ever booked a meeting in New York and still made it home for dinner? Okay, so let's talk about you're wandering around and you're suddenly in this transformed Seaport warehouse where neon arches frame a life-size VR decathlon and holographic kiosks let you plunge into like a ski jump or test your 100-meter dash, all before you hit the cafe for a post-workout latte. This is Boston's Olympic Bid Pavilion, a $50 million interactive showcase where the city's 2028 or 2032 dreams come alive on a grand scale. So what are we talking about? We're talking about full body VR stadium runs. We're talking about altered reality previews of proposed venues, live Q&A pods with committee members, community designated mascot unveilings. It's just gonna have so many perks. You're gonna have just this amazing feel of it with custom athletes village tours on your phone, free daily pop-up clinics with Olympic hopefuls, and a rotating exhibit of historical memorabilia from the past games. Now, let's really get into it though. It's gonna be open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. with free admission, group bookings for school field trips, and special evening events with live athlete panels. So whether you're seizing up the opening ceremony stadium or scribbling notes on how to turn your neighborhood into a future Olympic hub, this pavilion makes you part of the action. No trial runs required. So think about strapping on that VR headset to practice your first Olympic leap. Then, well, you step outside to catch a live esports final right there on the waterfront. Yep. You just got off that ferry, you turn a corner past the Innovation Hub, and all of a sudden, boom, ambient hum of pro gaming fills the air. You're talking neon lit corridors guiding you into a 4,000 seat amphitheater where LED walls pulse in time with every victory and every score, and you hear the roar. This is the Boston Esports Arena, a $75 million waterfront venue built for competitive gaming's biggest leagues and fan festival alike. Nerds take note. Arena features, oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have a main stage with wraparound LED panels. You're gonna have tiered spectator seating with built-in USB charging, have to have it. You're gonna have a LAN cafe with VR pods and a VIP caster's box and just lounges overlooking all of the action. What you're also gonna get is private training suites, soundproof strategy rooms, and an on-site broadcast studio beaming matches worldwide. Now, the regular season matches in League of Legends and Counter-Strike, international tournaments, cosplay meetups, and weekend open play sessions are going to be there for local gamers too. Now, fans will mix salt and pepper lattes at the cafe with adrenaline of all this live competition. And while the Charles River glints through the floor-to-ceiling windows, how many times have I said floor-to-ceiling windows today? I swear that was not intentional. Hey, drop a guess down in the comments. Like, if somebody gets it spot on, I'll buy you a coffee. Now, swap that controller for a lab coat and roll into the next frontier, where science meets startup swagger just across the water. Yeah, because we're talking about when you exit that arena and stroll over to Rose Wharf, where aging shipping sheds just kind of used to be, are now in their place going to be rising $250 million, 200,000 square foot innovation campus. Yeah, we're talking co-working labs. We're talking those harbor views where they have pitch rooms and lined corridors humming with startup energy. It's where the scrappy founders of today crash code through nights under the same roof as seasoned biotech execs mapping out the next breakthrough. Hopefully, you don't see anyone crashing out. Now, how's it going to look inside? It's going to be modular bench labs on the lower floors. You're going to have flexible office suites above, and you guessed it, glass wall meeting pads that float right over the harbor. Now, there's always got to be some kind of perk with these types of places. And in this instance, it's going to be venture cafes serving cold brew and, lobster bowl tacos, a demo theater for product unveilings, and a roof deck where you can actually have a really cool pitch session, and hopefully people don't kind of just let their eyes glaze and watch the sunset. And of course, this is going to bring partnerships, because built-in collaboration with Mass Challenge and local VCs are going to be ensuring a steady stream of mentorship, funding panels, and demo days. Here, ideas just don't get sketched on whiteboards. They're fast-tracked from concept to lab bench to market, all steps from the waterfront promenade. Think that's cutting edge? By the time you step outside, you'll be slipping onto a seamless 3-mile boardwalk that stitches the city together. Now, every one of these kind of game changers is reshaping Boston right now, and you don't want to be left on the sidelines. My contact info is pinned below. Reach out today, and let's turn these opportunities into your next move. All right, you guys know I used to work in the footwear industry, so I'm always a big fan. You're gonna have to lace up your sneakers in the North End and hit the Harbor Walk. Why? Because soon you won't have to cut inland. By 2025, a seamless 3-mile boardwalk will link Christopher Columbus Park all the way to Castle Island, threading through Charlestown Navy Yard, Fan Pier, and Fort Point. Imagine morning jogs that are just like full of pop-up art installations. You're gonna have all these like kayak launches at the new docks. You're gonna have sunset benches where you can, have a craft beer and just watch as everything kind of like glows as the city kind of wakes up for the night. You're gonna have local vendors just peppering the path, coffee carts at dawn, gourmet food trucks at noon, and ice cream stands at dusk. Historical markers and wayfinding signs are gonna keep you connected to, our legacy as tides ebb and flow beneath your feet. This isn't just a pathway. It's gonna be a living waterfront tapestry, kind of turning industrial edges into community arteries. Now, it's where you're now kind of thinking like, oh my God, could I be swapping a traffic clogged commute for a sunrise run on the harbor? Yeah. Now, instead of that run, I like to bike. So let's talk about it. Boston's bike share just went electric and station free. By the end of 2025, 5,000 electric blue bikes and 2,000 dockless e-scooters will just be in every neighborhood from Allston to Dorchester. Imagine unlocking a self-driving bike with one tap, cruising calm ave at 20 miles an hour, and parking it anywhere. No station, each bike featuring built-in GPS, phone chargers at the handlebars, and integrated lights that adjust to what the conditions are. The scooters boast shock-absorbent tires, intuitive balance assist technology, and enclosed battery packs you can swap at the neighborhood power pods. And you're gonna need all those things because, guys, we got potholes, like, let's be real. So whether you're darting to a Seaport meeting, you're fitting in a fitness ride along the Charles, or just avoiding the morning tea crush, these rides promise consistency. Guaranteed availability within a 2-block radius, real-time traffic integration, and safety tutorials. So the first time you tap in, it's gonna tell you what you need to do because you gotta be safe with these things. And local artists, they're gonna wrap a rotating handful of bikes with, original artwork, turning every ride into kind of like a moving gallery for everyone else. But what if your daily commute felt more like gliding than grinding? Yeah, I'm talking about the Charles River food barrier and the linear park, because when storms swell and the river rises, Boston's new 1,000-foot movable flood barrier is going to spring to life. It's literally going to be lifting from the water's edge to protect the city. But when the tide recedes, that same structure becomes the foundation of, this 5-acre park, complete with shaded bike lanes, a riverside kind of like jogging path, and picnic nooks overlooking the water. Integrated flood sensors automatically rise the barrier at just the right height, while retractable benches and built-in planters activate when the park emerges. Natural stone terraces double as amphitheater seating for sunset concerts, and energy harvesting turbines tucked beneath walkways where it's powered by this waterfront lighting. And it's going to be this amazing dual-purpose marvel. It's not going to be just anything less than engineering genius. It's a seamless fusion of resilience and recreation, and every Bostonian's new front row seat to both kind of safety and serenity. But have you ever thought about flood control could feel walking around a park? I mean, it's kind of wild. All right, guys, we're hitting it. We're there. Finally, in the heart of the North End, a historic brick building is going to undergo its own revolution. Now, home to the Freedom Trail Interactive Museum, where revolutionary Boston leaps off cobblestones and onto your tablet. You're going to enter through this kind of colonial area doors into a, dimmed hall lit by like all these kind of flickering sconces. And it's like got that crazy kind of cool vibe. But you're going to, you guessed it, pick up your AR-enabled guide, and suddenly Paul Revere's ride unfolds around you. There's going to be horses galloping down the narrow streets. There's going to be lanterns flashing in the steeple windows, and merchants are going to kind of like hawk wares from all these like lifelike market stalls. I mean, it's just cool how history is going to be immersed with all this new technology, because you're going to do things like you're going to move into this adjacent gallery and slip on those VR goggles to kind of stand in what Continental Army's rank looked like at Bunker Hill. You're going to hear musket fire cracking around you with like this panorama of the Charlestown Heights. You're going to have these touchscreen exhibits that left you drab your own Declaration of Independence paragraph, compare musket ball artifacts, and even ring a virtual Liberty Bell that resonates through all the centuries. You're going to have live interpreters, actors in period garb. Everybody's going to guide you from station to station, offering, all of this whispered history and behind the scenes stories you won't find in like any textbook. This museum isn't just about looking back. It's about stepping into history. By the time you exit through the gift shop where handmade tri-corner hats await, you're going to feel as though you've marched alongside the very founders of our nation. But here's the thing, guys. That's that's a wrap to our 20 seismic reveals, shaking up Boston in 2025. We're talking those hyper ferries to floodgates that moonlight as parks. So which one has you rethinking your next commute, your weekend plans, or even where you'll hang the bar cart? Whether you're craving a late night clam chowder with waterfront views or hunting the perfect rooftop yoga deck, I'm here for you. So click in the description down below, dive in, reach out today. Let's make one of these game-changing neighborhoods and all the 20 amazing things that's coming to Boston 2025 close to your new address. I'll see you out there.